crafty friends, it's Spence here from Crafty Kiwi Mama. I have got a little selection of cardstocks here that has arrived from scrapbook.com. I purchased these with the recent special that they had on, where you could get essentially a taste of all the different new cardstocks that they've got for, I think I paid about $25, and it's a really good selection. They're all A2 size, as you can see on the actual branding here. I am going to take them out of their covers because the light refracts on the shiny covers, but I want to show you a little selection of what they've got. This is their premium Canvas Cardstock, and it says it's £80, so about 216 GSM for UK EU folks who go by GSM rather than pounds. And I just wanted to give you an idea of sort of the look of these, the texture. This is the canvas, which is, yeah, it does look like a sort of grainy canvas look to it. I'll see if there's one that gives you a better sense of the grain, maybe in one of the darker colours. This is kind of a spread of the colours. I wanted to just kind of point out a couple of things with this. The weight at 80 GSM, this is a lovely chocolatey brown one, which according to this will be their espresso bean, that dark chocolate brown. They've got another one which is a little bit paler than that if I take it from the back of the pack. This one here, and you can see the difference between the colours, is their cafe au lait. Is brown eyes, and this one is their cafe au lait, sort of a lighter brown. And then they've got a lovely charcoal as well, which is that one there, which almost looks a bit greenish in hue to me. But that might just be my eyes under the artificial lighting. It's kind of a nice warm charcoal colour. And then the one that I've put in there is the cloak grey. I won't go through every single colour, but I just wanted to give you an idea of kind of the spread of colours. They've got a cream, which they call muslin, and then a lovely white, this one here, sort of a true white, which is called snowbound. And then that one that is slightly, well, it's not cream, as you can see, compared to that. This one's called Daylily, so it's sort of like an off-white between the cream and the white. But the thing I got sort of super excited about is it's hard to get lovely deep purples sometimes. And they've got a most beautiful range of purples. Look at these. So rich, so lush, so lovely. I like this sort of almost desaturated one here. This one is called Concord Jam. This one is called Plum. That one's deep purple, and that one's grapevine. And I love that spread of colour between them. There are lots and lots of colours in here. Just flicking through quickly, there's a beautiful range of greens and blues and the whole kind of spectrum. I won't go through every single one, but that is the Canvas Cardstock. So you can see on the front here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, there's 11 deep by 4 wide, and then the Black Magic is the extra one. So that must be 44, there's 45 papers in there. So that's a really good amount of papers. Did I do the math right? Those of you that are better math whizzes might be able to check my math on that. And then this next one is A2 size again, and this is just their £80 Classic Cardstock range. So still that lovely heavy cardstock. Weight, when I say heavy cardstock, £80 is a little bit thinner. Okay, this is what you would call layering weight cardstock as opposed to heavyweight, which would be great for making card bases. But I wanted to give you an idea of the colour spread in here. Look at that beautiful rich ruby red, that's just gorgeous. And then a couple of different yellows, several different greens, blues. I mean, the hues in here are divine. Lighter purples in that cardstock range. As you can see there, another beautiful cream, a couple more browns, and then some greys towards the end, and obviously a black at the end. I'll just show you the cover page so you can see again how many go into that particular one. So the £80 weight, which I don't know how to describe that, except that it is a layering weight, not a heavyweight. This would be fantastic for die cutting, or, you know, if you're doing a multi-layered project where you've got lots of layers of cardstock on the design, then this layering weight, the 80 pound, is really lovely for using for doing like flower die cuts and things like that, where you're doing petals and leaves and stamen and the whole shebang, because it can get quite heavy if you're using the 100 pound cardstock for that. 100 pound is better for base cardstock creation, but the 80 pound is fantastic for layering weights. So this is an amazing array of colour as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 again deep. So we've got 44, 45 again in the premium classic cardstock. Same number as in the premium canvas cardstock. But as many of you, I'm sure, will be asking, are they all the same colours? I want to show you that they're not. So here we've got cherry red. The beginning one on here is ladybug. We've got firecracker and then garnet, daredevil, carnival red. They're quite different, pimento and wine. So if you've got extra sets or one of each set, you get different colours within the different sets. So you're not getting the same colour in the different weights or in the different designs. This being the canvas cardstock has the weave. This one, the classic cardstock, is just a completely flat cardstock. The other thing I noted when I watched the SBC crew doing the showcase for this the other day, they said it is dyed all the way through. So it's not a white core, it's coloured core, and a really lovely range of colours. Like within their greys, there's different greys. Within their browns or the neutral colours, they're all just ever so slightly different. So you've got an amazing array of tones within the colour families, depending which cardstock stack you choose. So that's the canvas first, then the classic. Now we've got the heavyweight, which I am unsure whether you'll be able to see the difference in kind of how these stack up weight-wise. I'll compare a couple together. Let's pull out our blacks from each one. This is bound to have a black. Haha, she says, and then catches her breath. No, the darkest one in here, there's no black in the 100 pound. It's a dark molasses. So that's a beautiful dark brown. So that's a point to note, that there's no black 100 pound cardstock, but this beautiful dark molasses. See that sound? And I don't know, can I compare it? Let's give it a go. We'll compare it with the 80 pound weight. Can you hear the difference in that? Not really. And you won't be able to see side on. That it feels, it says it's 100 pound, which means it's not actually double the weight at all, but it feels much more substantial than the 80 pound does. So again, base weight is for creating, you know, base of your card designs. If I had this in a full letter size, I would create top folding card bases with this particular weight of cardstock. This one here I wouldn't. It wouldn't stand up, it's too light, but it's fantastic for layering. So just to know the difference between those two. And in the 100 pound cardstock, we've got a beautiful range of colours in here as well. The first red is a brighter red, which they've called cardinal, and then behind that one is a deeper, more burgundy red, which they call barn red. Then they go to a pink colour called rose chintz, which is quite a deep rose. It's quite lovely. Then candied yam, burnt orange is a warmer sort of deeper orange. Can't get my fingers into the sides of the pack. Sorry, it's very hard to spread them. Or maybe is that just, I think it's, oh wow. I was thinking that there was another one behind, but that's because it's so heavyweight. That's actually just one page of cardstock there, so interesting. The next one you get is called Antique Gold, which is a much more muted yellow. Then there's a brighter one called Lemon Sorbet. That is lovely. Sunshine, which is kind of, you know, mixing towards a greeny yellow. Interesting one. Then Lemon Lime, which is a nice bright true lime green. And then going into some blues, some greens, beautiful shades. And then heading into a lovely muted sort of lavender colour, which is called Twilight. Then Moonstone Blue, Strong Blue, and then Cyan. Cyan being a true blue. That's what they use in the RGB colours in the printer. Deep Blue, and then getting into our more muted colours, there's Cobblestone, which is interesting because it looks almost white to me in that. They've called that Cobblestone, Shale, Slate, Battleship Grey. Oh, look at that lovely grey. Again, a warmer grey. Java and the dark molasses. Now that dark molasses is not quite as dark as I would have thought according to the colour that's on here. So note that they vary slightly from this. This is a high sheen colour front on these. So the actual cardstock, it's matte, it's muted compared to these, but still rich, full colour, solid core, no white core. So that's lovely. So the heavy pack comes with 2, 4, 6 and 4 across, and then an extra one down the bottom. 24, 25 in that one. So 25 in that one. This next one is called Premium Swiss Dot Cardstock. I'll take off the cover because I know that makes it very shiny on the camera. But this is an interesting one because it comes with an integral spotty texture, like an embossed texture. It's not a particularly deep emboss. It's quite subtle, so you could still layer other cardstock on top without it interfering with the adherence of layers upon layers, but just a subtle and interesting spotty dotty design, and just a cool interesting palette. It's a more limited palette with this particular design. Some nice sort of softer lavenders. Oh, I really like that. It goes, some of them look deeper where the spots are. It's almost as if there's a two-tone effect, which is really kind of cool. And I'm loving how many neutrals and muted colours there are. That's a really, really lovely inclusion in these packs. Look at that beautiful, what I would have called a burnt orange. That one they're calling Cosmos. I think it's meant to be Cosmos. Yeah, not Cosmos, but Cosmos, like the flower Cosmos. Californian Poppy, they're calling that one Rose Heather, I think. No, there's another pink. That one is Rose Heather. French Rose, Pink Carnation, and then the top one's Chinese Lantern, which is lovely. It's a very bright kind of red. So yeah, it makes sense it would be called Chinese Lantern. That's a clever choice. We all have a picture of what a Chinese lantern red looks like in our minds, I'm sure. I think that one is beautiful. That's called Fiddleneck Fern, and it's a lovely, what I would call a blue-green, as opposed to the next one, which is a very yellow-green. And the yellow-green one is called Boxwood. A Sea Holly is the more sort of tealy coloured one, and then going into what looks to me like a wisteria blue, they've called Blue Clematis. Delphinium, the stronger blue. Lavender, Grape Verbena, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. And my favourite of the darker purples, Snapdragon, they've called that. That is just beautiful. Cotton Grass, Allspice, Night Flyer Lily, and Black Eyed Susan. Really lovely, really lovely. So that's cool to just have a bit of fun texture to play with in our cardstock. And then this last pack, these are Glimmer Cardstocks. That is a beautiful range of papers, and I have found, particularly here in New Zealand, basic cardstock very difficult to get hold of. So I am super excited to see another company come out with such a beautiful range. So yeah, that's kind of exciting. Sorry, I'm just trying to spread it into a bit more of a array of colours. So top one, we've got Imperial Red. The one underneath that is called Exotic Red. Not too dissimilar to the Cranberry Zing, but that one is very slightly darker. You can see in the right light. A kind of brighter red and a deeper red here, but very similar in tone. And then the lighter pink is called Pink Delight. Then Frosty Pink. We've got Carrot Stick. How cute is that? That would make an adorable nose for a snowman, or so would the next one, to be honest. That's called Bittersweet, that orange. Then we've got Sunglow as a brighter yellow, and then brighter again. Look at that, golden yellow. That's beautiful. Then we've got a lovely, more muted tealy green, or tealy blue green, called Glacier Blue. That's so pretty. Turning more into a teal shade, Tropical Surf, then Tropical Bay. Oh, those two together, divine. Then we've got Willow Green. For those of you that know me well, green is my favourite colour, so anything that moves into the green spectrum, that's got my heart. So we've got Willow Green, Sparkling Apple. Oh, how much like a Granny Smith apple does that look? That's so cool. And then this one here is called Fern. That would be beautiful for foliage. That's gorgeous. Then moving into the blues, we've got Soft Blue. That is a really pretty shade of blue. That's gorgeous. Then we've got bedazzled blue, blue chip, and sapphire sparkle. And then moving into the purpley ones, we've got amethyst jewel, and then this lovely deeper purple one is called purple velvet. Oh, they're just gorgeous. I don't know if you can really see the sheen or the shine on these. They really are quality. Even though they are 80 pound like the thinner cardstock, they feel substantial in your hand. Then just, yeah, feel lovely, lush. I will get to work with them in a little while and do some tearing and die cutting and all those sorts of things, and I will showcase that. But I just wanted to show the actual packs at this stage because there's such variety within them. They aren't all the same, the colours between the packs, and neither are the weights or the finishes. So it's quite nice to see them, you know, out of the plastic wrap and experience them. So getting towards the end of the pack, we've got a grey white called Icicles, and then a creamier colour called Irish Cream. And then if we compare both of those to the truer white, which is called Polar Bear, great naming, I'm loving the names they've come up with, they're so clever. And then going into a more beige tone, they've called that Sandpaper, and how much like traditional sandpaper does that actually look? That's kind of clever. And then Burley Wood, Barrel Brown, Polished Stone is the lighter grey, Granite is this one, and then they've called the final one, which although it's black on the back with that shimmery card front, finish on the front, it gives it a more deep like graphite grey finish, and they've called that Black Bear. I think that is gorgeous. Yeah. So the difference to note with this particular cardstock, unlike the other ones which they were pretty much the same colour on the back, aside from the dots, which I will show you, dots on the front, plain on the back, though you can see the recess of the dots through the paper. So with this one, it's a coated front with that beautiful shimmery cardstock that as you move it in the light has a beautiful texture. And the other thing to note about the Glimmer Cardstock is it has weave in the finish, the same as the Canvas Cardstock. So it's like it's got a canvas finish with the shimmer over the top, but then a completely flat back to it. So interesting to note about that. And then the other ones, the premium Canvas Cardstock, plain with the canvas front but a plain back. It's got a textured front, but the adhering on the back will be very easy because that's smooth and flat. You haven't got texture to have to contend with when you're adhering layers. So that's, yeah, a good thing to note. It's also not a deep texture on the front. There will be no issues trying to adhere layers of this upon itself. The Classic Cardstock is a solid colour core front and back, and in the middle, obviously, but plain either side and coloured both sides. It's not coloured on the front, white on the back, as I've seen done with some other cardstock ranges. And then the thicker one is the same, it's just much heavier. Solid through and through, and yeah, all colour runs completely through every page. You know, solid through, there's no white core, that if you were to emboss it and then sand it down to get a different effect, all it would do would rough up the top, but it wouldn't actually show a different colour through. So it's not like some of the old cardstocks that had a white core that you could do that with. So these are solid colour all the way through. Anyway, that's the 5 that we've got. Hopefully you enjoyed that little step through those cardstocks, and I'm going to have great fun with working with them in the next few days, just experimenting and experiencing what they're like. So far, my feeling about these is what an amazing spread of colours, of weights and textures and designs. I think it's really exciting to have a really core cardstock available to us now through scrapbook.com. So thumbs up for that, and let me know what you think. Hopefully that, for those of you sitting on the fence, not sure whether you want to get some or not, I know that they're going to be selling them as individual 12 by 12 sized pages. So if there's a particular favourite in those, you can purchase just that colour in a 12 by 12 size. But they brought them out in these taster test sizes to begin with so that we could get an overview of the different colours and the different designs quickly, as I've done tonight. So hope that you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for visiting today. Wishing you all a brilliant day, and thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. See ya. Bye.